What's going on, guys? Quinn69 here. How you guys doing today? I'm going to be bringing you guys a guide on the Sunwuko set dungeon. So straight away you want to head to Act 4. That is the Silver Spire level 2. And then you just head in there and you're going to be running towards Diablo. So if you know how to get to Diablo, just run to Diablo. You don't need to follow these directions. But yeah, it's a bit of a run. It's not exactly the fastest one. Definitely have to cover a lot of ground, but luckily we're a monk and we have badass mobility skills. You just run through, dash, 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 teleport with epiphany, whatever. It literally will take you no longer than 30 seconds. And you're going to be heading to this bad boy right here, the Pinnacle of Heaven. The second you go through this teleporter right here, the set dungeon will be right to your left. Boom, there she is. Dungeon of the Monkey King's Garb. So there's the Diablo entrance, there's the set dungeon. Once you get into the dungeon, you're going to notice there's a really weird looking objective. It says using your decoys, hit 20 different enemies in 6 seconds. And you've got to do that 5 times. So if you guys don't know, in patch 2.4, the Sunwuko set has been redesigned. The 4 set now, what it does is it makes your sweeping wind automatically spawn a decoy every second to your last hit enemy. If there's no enemies, it won't spawn anything. And if you haven't hit any of the enemies around you, it won't be spawning decoys. So what this means is the second you engage a new group of enemies, it's going to automatically start a decoy timer. That means you have 6 seconds to tag as many enemies as you can with your decoys. You can only tag each enemy once, so you're going to need a lot of density or movement speed, or a combination of the both. That's the dream. Now you're probably wondering, how on earth does he have so much movement speed? Okay, I have a bunch of sources. It's probably a little bit overkill, but I highly suggest utilizing at least a few of these, if not all of them, because the more movement speed, the easier it is to get that Sunwuko decoy objective, which is insanely hard. This is what makes this dungeon hard, is getting that objective. And I did it in the first, 50 seconds of the rift, so obviously this setup does work really well. So what you want to do is you want to use Breath of Heaven Zephyr. Okay, it's a rune of Breath of Heaven that every time you press it, it gives you a short movement speed boost. I think it's around 30%. You want to use Dashing Strike, Way of the Falling Star. Every time you dash, you gain 40% movement speed for 4 seconds. On top of that, we are using Mantra of Conviction, Annihilation. Every time you kill an enemy, it grants you 30% movement speed. And on top of that, we are using Wasician War Guards. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong. It's the braces that you equip that whenever you break something, it gives you a short movement speed boost. Obviously, because we have Sweeping Wind on and we're using Cyclone Strike to help group the enemies, you break a lot of stuff. And there's tons of destructibles around. So you pretty much have it up more than 50% of the time. So it's really, really good. And now, just to have the icing on the cake, we then have Krelm's Buff Belt in the cube. So if you guys don't know what that does, is it gives you 35% movement speed whenever you don't take damage for 5 seconds. And now you're wondering, but you're going to be taking damage all the time, aren't you? Okay, no, I'm not. I'm using a legendary gem, the Gizzard. So that's the life per second gem that grants you a shield, and they never ever break the shield because the monsters basically do no damage. It's more about the difficulty of tagging all the monsters, not about the monsters actually hitting you. Another thing worth noting is you probably want to have a Star of Askaranth equipped, because you'll notice the Punishers have Mortar. If one of those Mortar balls hits you, it will instantly kill you or proc you. And you don't want to die because that's one of the objectives. I haven't mentioned it yet, but yeah, it says kill 380 monsters without taking fatal damage. Okay, so you can't die. So Star of Askaranth is really awesome. It means you can completely ignore the mortar that is going out and just focus on the objectives. The final objective is actually really easy. So it says, maintain Sweeping Wind for the duration of the dungeon. Okay, there is a new item that has been added in 2.4 that makes this objective basically a piece of piss. It is called the Kairasho's Soul. I probably mispronounced that horribly. It's a belt, and what this belt does, its Sweeping Wind gains 2 stacks every second it does not damage an enemy. So you'll notice as I'm running around desperately looking for the final monsters to kill, you'll see my Sweeping Wind. I'm not actually pressing it, but it's refreshing automatically. That's the new UI, by the way, down the bottom there. So that little bar, that little green bar there, see how it keeps refreshing every second automatically? That is Kairasho's Soul. And it does my job for me. The PTR is actually bugged at the moment, and you actually always get stuck at 5 monsters, so I can't actually complete the master objective, even though I have heaps of remaining time to do it in. Also learned some extra little tricks while doing this master dungeon. Okay, first of all, you want to stack a ton of cooldown reduction on top of all the movement speed, because the more CDR you have, the more dashes you can do. Also, use Ingiom either on your character or in your cube, because that Ingiom means you can spam dash on top of your movement speed. Okay, and you also want to reduce your damage, so your sweeping wind doesn't automatically cleave everything before the Sunwuko clone has a chance to spawn. I think I'm running about 400k damage in this, so I basically don't insta-gib the monsters. Another little trick also is to use a white gem in your weapon, so that basically what it does is it reduces your damage output and it increases your damage to elites. So elites die at the same rate as the trash. But otherwise, that's it from me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the guide. Until next time, peace out and have a good day.